Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Serena Williams' ex-coach alarms Ailing WTA star to stop playing tennis with medicines. Caroline Garcia's season has been derailed by a persistent shoulder injury, forcing her to withdraw from the Italian Open and exit early in Madrid. But instead of keeping the details close to her chest, she has been remarkably candid about her struggle, revealing that she relies on anti-inflammatories, injections, and plasma treatments just to manage unbearable pain. And on May 5, Garcia openly challenged critics who said, "If you really cared, you'd play through the pain," highlighting the profound mental and physical toll it takes to manage her injury. Patrick Mouratoglou, however, offered a more insightful response to this pressure. Speaking on his Instagram, the former coach of Serena Williams, who coached the tennis legend back in 2012 to 2022, opened up about Garcia's revelation about being in pain. He noted, "People tell Caroline she should play, and if she cares, she should play with pain. A lot of players have experienced it. We've heard many times, and that's true, that there is almost no tennis player without pain. But have they really done so? For many years, top players like Williams have competed despite major injuries, including knee issues and a torn hamstring that forced her withdrawal from Wimbledon 2021 while managing chronic pain and migraines. Similarly, Maria Sharapova's career was plagued by shoulder injuries requiring multiple surgeries, and Naomi Osaka, currently coached by Mouratoglou, has faced abdominal injuries causing retirements in 2025 tournaments. Patrick emphasized the importance of pain severity in deciding whether to play. "If it's something that you can control, you should play with pain. I really think so. And I think it's fine because the medical staff around, they have to say, okay, this is too much." When Caroline describes her pain, "I would say she's way over the limit." After Garcia's early exit at the Australian Open and playing through March, she withdrew from several events due to a persistent back injury. Mouratoglou believes she should stop, solve the problem, and come back, rather than keep playing with that pain, apparently too heavy, and also having bad results because of the pain. Acknowledging the athlete's mindset, Mouratoglou said, "I know it's difficult to stop for every player. They think, oh, if I stop for a few months, maybe I will lose my tennis. They're all scared of that, and I think in the past, a lot of guys have shown the way." He cited examples like Roger Federer and Stan Wawrinka, who made remarkable comebacks after injury layoffs. Federer took 6 months off in late 2016 for knee surgery, then won the 2017 Australian Open and Wimbledon at age 35. Wawrinka returned in 2018 after 2 knee surgeries, rebuilding his ranking and reaching Grand Slam quarterfinals by 2019. This resilience shows a big change after that in the player's mentality, according to Mouratoglou. Ultimately, he stressed that the choice rests with the player. In French, we say, "Les conseillers ne sont pas les payeurs." Advisors are not the ones paying the price. Everyone gives advice, but you must do what's right for you. Not to mention, this is not the first time Mouratoglou has defended Garcia's decisions regarding her health and career. Back in 2022, Caroline Garcia, then 29 and ranked a career-high no. 4, was hitting her stride like never before. That year, she snagged her first WTA 1000 title in Cincinnati, claimed her maiden WTA Finals crown, and made her debut Grand Slam semifinal appearance at the US Open. Talk about making good on early promise. After years of ups and downs, she finally embraced her aggressive, high-risk playing style and started racking up titles, winning 4 singles trophies in just 4 months. But it hasn't been an easy journey for her. Patrick Mouratoglou summed it up perfectly. "I think it was very difficult for Caroline in the past because the expectations were huge. We all remember that match she played against Sharapova. The entire tennis world said she would be no. 1. Back in the 2011 French Open, a 17-year-old Garcia almost pulled off a stunning upset against Maria Sharapova, cruising with a 6-3, 4-1 lead before Sharapova staged a fierce comeback to win in 3 sets. That moment was when many first saw Garcia as a future star." Mouratoglou added, "People get completely crazy with her, without really knowing her. People were saying it's not necessary to take so much risk. It's stupid, she doesn't understand tennis, and a lot of criticism. Especially about the father not knowing tennis, not understanding tennis. So I think it hurted them a lot, and that's why it took so long." At the start of that season, she was still battling foot pain and inconsistent results, with critics doubting if her aggressive style could ever be sustainable. But from June onwards, Garcia found her rhythm, fully embracing her fly-with-Caro approach, attacking from inside the baseline, coming to the net with purpose, serving well, and playing with intensity. Now, after taking a much-needed break, and with the French Open kicking off on May 25, the big question is, will Caroline Garcia bounce back stronger and finally silence the doubters? Drop your thoughts below. Rain tapped softly against the tinted glass of the practice dome in Monte Carlo, the rhythm barely audible over the hollow pop of a ball meeting string. Inside, Kamila Novak grunted with each stroke, her body a tense, quivering wire of effort and desperation. Her swing was elegant, but off, just slightly, just enough. From the sideline, a pair of eyes tracked every motion with the scrutiny of a seasoned sculptor. Patrick Mouratoglou, Serena Williams' former coach and the architect behind some of her greatest comebacks, stood still, arms crossed, face unreadable. He had seen this story unfold before, but this time, it felt more dangerous. Kamila, the rising star of the WTA, once hailed as the next Serena by media outlets eager for a new queen, had become a ghost of her former self. Thin, withdrawn, her infamous serve, once clocked among the fastest in the game, was now a muted echo, a flicker of muscle memory dampened by pills and pain. Patrick waited until the last ball thudded into the net before he spoke. "Enough," he said, his voice firm. Kamila leaned on her racket, breath ragged. Sweat clung to her neck like desperation. "I can go another hour," she said. "I said enough." She looked at him, eyes gleaming, not with fire, but something brittle. Fear, pride, panic. "I have to be ready for Madrid. If I don't show up, they'll say I'm finished." Patrick walked over, picked up a ball, and rolled it slowly in his palm. "Kamila," he said gently, "you are not finished, but you will be if this continues." She flinched, as if struck. "I'm not quitting." "No," he agreed, "but you are hiding. Behind medicine. Behind this facade of toughness. And your body's telling the truth your ego won't." A long silence stretched between them, filled only by the sound of the rain and the distant shrieks of gulls circling above the coast. The rumors had started months ago. Whispers in locker rooms and late-night social media speculation. Kamila Novak's miraculous recovery from a stress fracture and chronic inflammation had stunned fans. 1 week she could barely walk. The next, she was back on court, blazing winners from every angle. But those close to the sport, those who had seen careers ruined by stubbornness and misused medicine, knew better. Patrick had coached Serena through injuries, losses, pregnancies, and comebacks that defied physics. He knew what real healing looked like. This wasn't it. "You're medicating to numb the pain," he said, sitting beside her on the bench. So that pain is a signal. It's your body begging you to stop. You're treating your body like an opponent, Kamila. You're trying to defeat it. But this isn't a match. It's your life." She looked away. Her hands trembled. Inside her gym bag, a zippered pouch with prescription bottles clinked softly as she moved. "I don't need a lecture," she said bitterly. "I'm not lecturing. I'm trying to stop you from ending your career before it truly begins. You think I don't know the risk? I've sacrificed everything to get here. I'm not Serena. I don't have 20 years to figure it out." Patrick's gaze softened. "No, you're not Serena. You're Kamila Novak. And that's more than enough. If you stop trying to be invincible." He paused. "Do you think Serena never cried when her body gave out? Do you think she didn't question it all? After surgeries and losses and time off, she came back because she gave herself time to heal." Kamila's jaw clenched. "I can't take a year off. Sponsors will vanish. Rankings will collapse. They'll replace me with the next bright star. There's always someone younger, faster." Patrick stood up and pointed toward the empty seats beyond the court. "That's the fear they want you to believe. That you're disposable. That if you stop even for a moment, the world moves on without you." He crouched in front of her now, voice low and intense. "But Kamila, champions aren't built in fast lanes. They're carved from patience, wisdom, and knowing when to fight and when to wait. Right now, your job isn't to train. It's to heal. Or you'll have nothing left to train with. That night, Camila sat alone in her apartment, the pain in her hip radiating through her side like an accusation. The pills were on the table. Her hand hovered over them. In the silence, she thought of her father, who used to tape her ankles before junior tournaments. She thought of Serena, crying tears of triumph after winning the Australian Open while pregnant. She thought of Patrick, whose passion for the game had never been about trophies, but about the soul of the player. Was she really a fighter if she only fought through numbness? The pills went down the sink. 3 months later, Camila stood in a modest stadium in Prague. Not a Grand Slam, not a Masters 1000, but a small, earnest tournament filled with players clawing their way back. Her name was no longer in headlines. Her social media sponsors had dwindled. But her body was healing. She had chosen rest, therapy, time. The pain had receded. Her game was raw but real. Every serve was a promise. Not that she was back, but that she was coming back the right way. Patrick sat in the stands, arms folded, smiling quietly. He didn't need thanks, just the sound of a clean shot and a body in harmony again. Epilogue. The media would later call it Camila's second career. Her return to the top 20 didn't come with fireworks, but with slow, earned respect. No scandals, no shortcuts, just courage. When asked in an interview what changed her, she said only this: "Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is stop." And somewhere in Monte Carlo, a coach watched her answer and nodded, knowing the lesson had taken root. Because in the brutal ballet of professional tennis, the real match is not against an opponent. It's against the silence of your own body and the courage to listen.